AI will take our jobs as fashion designers. And I actually disagree. All that time that I've just saved to get this image of this waistcoat that I now know, okay, so maybe the pockets, I want it higher or lower. I can make decisions based on this outcome that I've gotten in literal minutes. Welcome back to another video, K Divas. My name is Priscilla. I'm a Nigerian women's wear designer based in the UK. In this video, I'm going to be sharing some softwares that would absolutely elevate your workflow as a fashion designer. The last time I did a video like this, you guys absolutely loved it, and I'm a fan of using technology to an advantage where you save money and you save time and you potentially save yourself headache. So if you'd like to find out what these softwares are, make sure to keep on watching. With that being said, if you do enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up so I know you guys are enjoying videos like these on the channel where I share, technology meets fashion and how we can leverage that as creatives in the future. Comment down below which of these softwares you're most excited to try out, and if there's any other ones that you think that we should check out as fashion designers, as creatives, and as entrepreneurs. First on my list is Look, Look. So Look is great if you're someone who wants to have a near to real life version of your sketch, of your idea, without actually making the piece. Because from you making samples, from you making tours, that's you going to buy fabric, that's you making the piece, that's you making the item, and that's your time that is being spent, which by the way is the most valuable asset as a creative, your time. So if you have an idea, say you have this rough sketch, you have this concept, you have a flat version of this garment that you want to create, but you don't actually want to create the piece, you can actually upload it onto Look and write a prompt describing what you want the garment to look like. So I'm currently working on a waistcoat PDF pattern and I'm just trying to fine tune it even more. I have the pattern done, graded and everything, and once it's released I'll let you guys know. But I just wanted to see what it would look like on a body, possibly with pants or with something underneath. So I uploaded like a screenshot of the garment that I've been working on in Clo, and I just said create a female vest with 5 front buttons, welt pockets, and V neckline. It's not even super detailed, and one thing with prompts is the more detailed your prompts are, the more true to what you have in your head the outcome would be. So I just put that on here, and this is like the illustration option here. You click generate look, give it a couple of seconds or minutes, and you have an outcome. Like waistcoat actually looks a lot better. Like when it's in that white fabric or just like a rough sketch, it doesn't really do the design justice in my brain. And it's one of those garments that it has potential for endless styling. It can be worn with a shirt like this image here, but I want to see what it looks like on my body. I'm going to find a picture of myself and see if I can actually put the waistcoat on me. Now, I have not made this waistcoat. I will make it, but before I get there, I want to see like what would this design look like on my body. Would it sit right on my hips? Would it sit okay around the waist? Is the neckline too deep? So I'm going to grab a picture here, and if you go on the side or toolbar to the left, you see all these options here for sketch to image, real-time design, text to image. There is also one that allows you to swap outfit swap, which is what I'm going to be doing here. So I have this picture of myself and I have this image I just generated earlier on of the waistcoat, but I want to see what it looks like on my body. So I'm going to upload my picture here and then the picture that I just created and see what it does. So I need to decide what part of my body I want the garment to be. So I'm just going to use the brush tool to select around my chest area. I'm just working on my iPad, by the way. Just select around my chest area, and that's where I kind of want the outfit to be swapped. I'm wearing like a simple white dress, so I'm hoping it should come out okay. So let's see. It actually looks a lot better than I imagined. There are some parts of it that are a bit creepy, like the fact that I have 6 fingers. That's a bit more like 7 because the thumb is not visible. That's a bit creepy, but if I don't pay attention to that, it actually looks really good. I can imagine how this would be on my body. I know for a fact that I can't make the waistcoat too long because I'm not very like tall, and my torso is short. So I know when I'm designing this waistcoat, I might consider making the length just a little bit shorter because I've seen what it looks like on my body, and I'm someone who is on the petite side, whereas the generated image earlier on looked like a really slender model-esque physique. But seeing it on my body just like helps me to visualize things a lot better. It changed parts of my body a little bit, like the hand situation, but this is a typical example of how I think some softwares cannot replace human beings, but that's a discourse for another day. But if I overlook that, I think it's really cool that I didn't have to make this waistcoat. I just have the digital pattern. I have this screenshot I've taken of Clue. I've uploaded it here, and I can see what it looks like on the body in a different material. There's a lot more that you can do in Look. I just wanted to show you guys these two functions that if you want to create a real life version of your garment without having to make the garments, this is a perfect place to actually get that done. The second software I'm going to be talking about is NewArc. NewArc is kind of similar to Look, but I think what won me over to NewArc is if you're not someone who knows how to draw, like me, I am very terrible with drawing. They have two models. They have NewArc V3 and NewArc Experimental, that if you upload your terrible sketch, it would actually create an image or a better sketch of that initial hand-drawn design that you've drawn. So let me show you what I actually mean. So I have this terribly drawn waistcoat, because let's just use the waistcoat since that's the theme we're running with. I have this very ugly looking waistcoat that I just quickly scribbled together, and you know it's kind of a waistcoat, but it's not very fine. This doesn't look very good, but I want to get like a better idea of what this would look like as a garment. So I'm going to pick the experimental model here and then upload the image of this, my ugly sketch. And once that is uploaded, you have a prompt box like you have with the first software. And the way prompts work is kind of just describing what you would like to see. The more detailed you are, the more specific you are, like, you know, colors, buttons, length, maybe the complexion of the model. Like, the more detailed you are, the nicer and the more closer to what you have in your mind it would come out. It's kind of like you trying to describe your ideal man or ideal woman. The more descriptive and the more specific you are, the better the outcome would be. So I'm just going to type in the prompt here what I want, and it even will suggest a prompt for you based on what it thinks the image is or what it thinks the photo is. If you're fine with that prompt, you can just accept it and use that, or you can describe yours yourself. So I'm just going to put that in, and I want to say sketch to image. So I want to see this as an image, and just let's see what it actually gives me, because that sketch is so it's not one of my proudest works, but let's see. Wow, I mean, considering the fact that, guys, like that my sketch was terrible, but it's not too bad. I will say the pocket is a bit interesting. That's not the style of world pocket that I had in mind, but this looks like a waistcoat. This is the kind of waistcoat that I want to make. I want to be able to create with the patterns I'm working on, like the button placement, the princess seam, the fact that it knew that those were pockets on the front and the side seam, and the shape of the hemline as well. If I had to now fine-tune that sketch, maybe put it in another software to get like vector lines, or work with the pattern cutter to make the pattern before we'll now get this. Like, do you see what I'm trying to go with this software? Is all that time that I've just saved to get this image of this waistcoat that I now know maybe the pocket, I want it higher or lower. I can make decisions based on this outcome that I've gotten in literal minutes. The final software I'm going to be sharing is one that if you're someone who likes to create custom prints for your textiles or for your fabrics, you might actually find this one very useful. So this is Patterned.ai, and on here you can create custom prints, and after you create it, you see what it looks like on a shirt, on leggings, on different type of garments and items. So you get an idea of what it would look like before you even send it off for printing, and before you potentially spend money that might not have been needed to be spent. So let's try this out and see what we can generate today. So let's say I want a print that is palm trees on a beachfront. I just come up with anything random with sunset on the background. So I'm just typing that in here in the prompt box on the left side. There are also different styles, so you can decide if you want this to be watercolor, to be line art, to be cartoon, to be minimalist, to be ink print. Let's go with cartoon and see what we generate. Oh, it's actually not too bad. So you get four pattern options generated. So if you're not someone who knows how to create custom prints, if you're not someone who has the means to pay somebody to do it for yourself, this is one way that you can actually create custom prints for your design. With prints and AI, there's a whole discourse around, you know, is the idea really yours? If AI generated it for you, it could have been based on someone else's art. So I think it's just something to keep in mind. If you are going to actually create a collection based on that, maybe disclose it so your customers know that this is a design that was created using artificial intelligence, and they're just aware when they are supporting your business. But that was little minutes, and I have custom beachfront palm tree prints that I can use for a boo-boo, for a t-shirt, for a dress. And that's another example of how we can use technology and software as creatives, as fashion designers, to save us time, money, and just stress in general. Now, these are just 3 examples of how like tools and technology can be something that you can use to ease your workflow, simplify your workflow as well. Especially if you're someone who maybe you have a small team or you work by yourself, but you still want to create work that is really, really good. There's nothing wrong with leveraging technology. It's nothing that, because I remember making a video in the past and there was a comment about how AI will take our jobs as fashion designers. And I actually disagree, because there are just some things that as human beings, nothing would ever replace. Maybe in 5 years I might be wrong, but right now I really disagree. There has to be someone to write the prompts. There has to be someone to, you know, give that human feel and touch to the garment or to the project or to the script or whatever that you are creating with AI. So I just think leaning into it and using it to your advantage, there's nothing wrong with that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If there are any other tools or softwares that you've used, you're enjoying, leave a comment down below so me too I can go check them out and someone else to discover them as well. But if you enjoyed this video, let me know your thoughts, and until next time, have a good morning, afternoon, and evening wherever you are. Bye.